How's it going there, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tommy, and today I'm bringing you a moveset guide to Toxtricity, which according to Joe Merrick from Cerebi, is the most searched Pokemon on his website, and therefore I figured you guys would be very keen to see a moveset video. So let me start off by saying that Toxtricity has two forms. It has the amped form and the low-key form, which are like an electric guitar and a bass guitar, respectively, as you can see from their little chest patterns, the 6 and the 4 sort of strings, if you will. You can see that some natures go to the amp form and some go to the low-key form. The actual difference in moveset is very subtle. The main difference really is that, you know, the amp form gets shift gear and the low-key form gets magnetic flux. So, not really a huge deal. Obviously, the nature of whatever set you want to run will determine what form you get as well. And on the subject of the natures, actually, what I didn't mention in my initial upload of this video, this is a re-upload for those with an eagle eye, is that you can change nature in-game. So regardless of what nature you start with, or what form you want, whatever, you can change the nature, so it doesn't really matter. And for that reason, I would say always run the amped form, unless for some reason you want to run magnetic flux. Or if you just really like the design of the low-key form, that's fine, fair enough. The reason I say run amped form is because you can bluff the shift gear. You know, even if you're not going to run it, people will look at it and say, okay, he could have shift gear. Whereas if you're running the low-key form, you will definitely not have shift gear. So that's important to know. So I'm going to run through a couple sets here. I'm just going to run through the base stats and such first. Electric Poison, very nice typing, very unique. Punk Rock, Plus, and Technician are the abilities. Plus is absolutely worthless in singles. Technician is nice, just it boosts anything which is 60 base power or lower by 1.5. And Punk Rock, which is a new ability introduced. This will be what you see on most sets. It boosts the power of sound-based moves by 30%, and also reduces the damage taken from sound-based moves by 50%, so it's very nice. And along with the Punk Rock ability, it also gets a unique special move called Overdrive, which is an electric type move with 80 base power, but it is sound based, so therefore Punk Rock will boost the power, so you can get some pretty good damage off this thing. The base stats, mainly focusing on special attack there, as you can see. Speed is about average, so are the defensive stats. Physical attack is actually pretty good as well. I think the key from this thing comes from setting up speed, which is why the amp form is going to be more common, because shift gear is exclusive just to that form. But let me run through a couple of sets here real quick. We have the special attacking setup Toxtricity, the most common set you're going to see, most likely. This is Throat Spray. So Throat Spray is a new item introduced which will boost your special attack when you use a sound-based move. So you can see we've got Boom Burst on there and Overdrive, which are both sound-based. Modest Nature for the maximum special damage. Max on the EVs. Basically what this does is you set up the speed with shift gear, the attack boost is irrelevant, then you have 3 powerful special attacks, you've got Overdrive and Sludge Wave for dual stab, and then Boom Burst, which hits like an absolute truck, especially with the Punk Rock ability. This is going to be the most common set you'll find on the ladder, so if you want to counter it, if you're having trouble with it, run something with soundproof, or just something that's really good on the special defensive side, especially a steel type. Second set I'm going to show you guys is a physical set. It has a pretty good physical attack stat, so you may as well make use of that. Adamant Nature with the shift gear, so obviously forcing the amp form. For moves you've got Gunk Shot, Wild Charge, and either Fire Punch or Drain Punch. Fire Punch is nice for stuff like Ferrothorn. Drain Punch if you want to get a little bit of recovery going. For the item, I think that's a little bit up in the air. I prefer Lumberry personally, but if you want to, you can run Life Orb. Life Orb is not something I tend to run with Wild Charge or any move that has recoil, but it's a very respectable choice, so I'll leave that choice up to you guys. But yeah, Max, Adamant Nature, 1 shift gear, and you'll do a hell of a lot of damage, so very nice set. Not as good as a special one in my opinion, because you don't benefit from the Throat Spray, and obviously the attack stat is lower by default, but a good set nonetheless. Third set I'm going to show you is a little bit more basic. It's just a very basic choice spec set. Volt Switch, Sludge Wave, Overdrive, and Boom Burst, obviously with Punk Rock ability again. You will do some massive damage with this thing. Obviously you don't have the speed set up, so you've got to be a little bit careful around faster stuff. But if you can get in on a wall, or just a slower Pokemon in general, you can hit something pretty hard, or at least get some momentum with Volt Switch. Nothing too much to say about this one, just hits hard, gets out of there, or just breaks walls. And final set, I know you guys have been waiting for the trademarked Pyrotoz gimmick set, so here it is. This is the fabled, bulky Assault Vest Toxtricity. So we got a little bit of speed up to base 80s uninvested, 252 special attack, and 200 in HP. Why not give it a bit more bulk? Modest so you can hit as hard as you possibly can. Volt Switch, Acid Spray, Discharge, and Snarl. Acid Spray will lower the enemy's special D by 2 points. It also benefits from Stab and Technician, which is very nice. Volt Switch, self-explanatory, just get some momentum when you force some switches with Acid Spray. So that's a pretty good little combo there. Discharge, I prefer that on bulkier sets just for the chance of paralysis, so you can therefore outspeed them next time. And Snarl, just because it benefits from Technician. It's quite nice on a bulkier set because you can lower their stats, and again, force more switches with Volt Switch. So maybe combine this with like a Hazard Squad, so you get some rocks and spikes up. Force a lot of switches with the special D drops and special attack drops. I think potentially it could do some work. I'm not going to say it's anywhere near as good as the standard sets, but yeah, give it a try. It could be good fun. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you give Toxtricity a try. Leave me your favourite sets in the comments below. I personally am a huge fan of this thing, especially the design. It's one of the Pokemon I did run on my in-game team. One thing that should be noted is that with the Shift Gear sets, I was talking about earlier, so like Shift Gear and Throat Spray and special attacks, you could very well swap out one of those attacks for a physical move. Run like a nice mix sweeper. So let's say you swap out Throat Spray for Life Orb, you swap out one of those special attacks, take your pick for Drain Punch or Fire Punch. You got a pretty good mix set right there. Sub to my channel if you want to see more of these, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.